New York City, it's true. Another intense snowstorm is headed our way. Starting tomorrow, Sunday morning, going through Monday, forecasts predict between 13 to 17 inches of snow, with a slight chance of more than 20 inches. This is the first blizzard we've had since 2016, and DSNY is fully mobilized. Outreach teams will be working around the clock to bring homeless New Yorkers inside. We are in an enhanced code blue. Text Notify NYC to 692-692 for real-time updates. We'll share a final decision about the status of in-person school for Monday by tomorrow, Sunday, at noon. Until then, stay inside, stay home if you can, and check in on your neighbors. And if you see someone out in the cold, call 311. Thanks, New York City, and stay safe.
Just a few weeks ago, New York City suffered its first major snowstorm under Zohran Mamdani. Let's review how that went, shall we? It took several weeks to shovel and plow all the snow. There were garbage mountains everywhere, some up to 10 to 12 feet in height. This made the rat infestation even worse, and a minimum of 20 people died from the cold. This is all because of Mamdani's poor leadership and his terrible decision when it came to the homeless encampments. And this next snowstorm is about to be even worse, according to the Daily Mail. Blizzard warning for 30 million people as bomb cyclone set to detonate across the Northeast. Travel will be dangerous and impossible. Well, Zohran Mamdani learned the hard way that the warmth of collectivism cannot melt the snow, and despite how big government is and how big he's trying to make it, even that is not enough manpower. So now he's resorting to begging the citizens of New York City to help him shovel all the snow. Yeah, he wants people to shovel the snow because he knows the city can't do it. But here is where things get really rich. In order to shovel snow, you have to show your ID. Can't make this up.
We're utilizing 33 DSNY vans and 2 DSNY buses to transport shovelers where they're needed faster. And for those who want to do more to help your neighbors and earn some extra cash, you too can become an emergency snow shoveler. Just show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online at nyc.gov/snow, and you can get started right away.
With your paperwork that's accessible online. Well, that sounds really official to me, just to shovel snow. So I actually went to this website. It is available at nyc.gov/snow in case you want to check it out for yourself. Emergency snow shovelers get paid to help keep New Yorkers safe after winter storms. The pay starts at $19.14 per hour and increases to $28.71 per hour after the first 40 hours is worked. But get this, in order to register to do this, you need to bring 2 small photos, 2 original forms of ID plus copies, and then your social security card. Wait a minute, so let me get this straight. New Yorkers, Democrats, and Democrat leadership like Mamdani don't want you to have to show your ID in order to vote, but to shovel and to get paid to shovel, you have to show not only 2 forms of ID, but your social security card as well? Someone please make this make sense. I mean, it is harder to shovel apparently than it is to vote in some of these places. That's exactly what Democrats want. And the sad thing is, Mamdani has been in the news a lot because of the budget proposal he put out this week. He's raising taxes. He wants to raise taxes on the middle class. And then on top of that, he wants to spend $1 billion more. In other words, on top of what the city is already spending on migrants to house them in hotels, to make life even easier, to make sure that they have a warm meal every single day. Meanwhile, the homeless people in New York City don't get that same sort of protection. And that's why this is one of the headlines from the New York Post. The last time the snowstorm came through, killed by kindness, 10 freeze to death after Mamdani says he won't force homeless off the streets. Now, that number actually ended up being a minimum of 20. It just kept going up and up and up as the days kept passing. Well, there was this decision, this policy under Mayor Adams that Mamdani decided to totally just put on pause on January 5th when he took office. And basically, it was that the city workers would go out to these encampment sites, and after 7 days, if they didn't leave, then they would be offered to, take advantage of the city resources. But Mamdani decided to put that policy on pause because he thought it was disrespectful to the homeless population. He thought that it was somehow insulting to their humanity. So what ended up happening? That snowstorm ended up coming, and it killed so many of them because they literally froze to death. In fact, there are so many video clips of unhoused people standing on top of manholes during the snowstorm just to stay warm. Take a look at this.
You saw in the news earlier they said they found 3 bodies.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And Andy, talk about
I mean, that's just absolutely terrible. I can't imagine being so cold and having no other choice but to stand over a manhole for warmth. Talk about, being disrespectful to someone's humanity. That is exactly what Mamdani's policy did right there, and obviously it led to many deaths. Well, because of that deadly mistake, he's learned his lesson, and he's actually gone back on that campaign promise. That was a campaign promise he fulfilled to the radical Democrat base. Well, according to the New York Times, Mamdani to reinstitute homeless encampment sweeps. So basically, that policy that he put on hold, that policy under Mayor Adams, that policy that he promised his base that he was, just going to get rid of, well, he's now doing it again because he realizes, there was actually a purpose for it. Not only does it help keep the city safe, but people who are unhoused, it helps protect them by providing them housing during these dangerous storms and helping them take advantage of the programs and resources that, yes, the city does offer. The crazy part in all of this is that none of it is a surprise. We all saw this coming. We all knew that his mayorship was going to fail, and it's not that we were rooting for it to fail. I don't say this with any glee or gloating or joy or anything like that. New York City was a great American city, and so we should have pride in that. But socialist policies, big government, communist policies, they've been tried and tested all around the world. They've failed time and time again. And unfortunately for Mamdani, unfortunately for New Yorkers, these two snowstorms back to back, they've really exposed and showcased just how this warmth of collectivism totally fails. Now, he's been failing a lot faster than I thought he would because of that. But on top of all of this, the people in New York City are turning against him at a faster rate than anyone could have ever predicted. In fact, Mamdani sailed to victory in large part because of the black support that he had in New York City. Well, after Mamdani revealed his budget earlier this week, where he said that he will likely raise taxes on the middle class, black voters are turning against him. And he's, of course, blaming Governor Hochul. He says Hochul won't raise taxes on millionaires and billionaires, when reality is Mamdani can raise taxes as well, but instead he realizes, no, the bulk of people are in that middle class, and it's going to hurt middle class homeowners. Well, black voters are turning against Mamdani, and it is turning into a movement. Just take a look at this. They gave a speech. It was just speaker after speaker, all talking about how Mamdani's policies, his proposals, betrayed their trust and will actually damage their economic fortunes.
The mayor, with the greatest respects, in every campaign speech, in every debate, where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Having only two options. You're saying, if we don't tax the rich, then I gotta increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics. Mayor Zohran Mamdani, you are out your mind.
And to make matters even worse for Mamdani, those speeches, that rally, that protest made the front page of the Black Westchester magazine. Black New Yorkers to Mayor Mamdani don't balance the budget on the backs of black homeowners. This article has gone viral and is spreading like wildfire. Well, the last thing that I want to talk about is this viral scene coming out of Times Square. It is just absolutely terrifying. But before we get to that, I would like to acknowledge the members of today's Governor's Club. They are William Wood, 1776. Again, welcome to the channel. Moonfairy11, Super Roamer, always great to see you. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I'm glad that you enjoy, and I'm glad that you're here. Well, before we get to Times Square, Mamdani once said that cutting the budget to New York City's library was just terrible. He had very strong words. He once called it cruel. Now, with his new budget, he's actually going to slash the New York City library budget by $30 million. Yeah. Again, he's just filled with hypocrisy, lots of irony here. He's just eating his words, breaking his promises, and showing his incredible lack of depth and experience. But this is what scared me the most. This is what's happening under Mamdani's leadership in New York City and Times Square. Take a look.
Giving down, yo, make some noise from the bottom water right now, baby. MashaAllah, yeah. Takbir! Oh, don't scare them, brothers. Relax. They're over here on purpose to be like, oh my God. Who's seen those videos where they're like, oh my God, the Muslims are taking over New York City? You seen those? You seen those? Let them know that we are taking over New York City. Takbir! Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely terrifying. The fact that they are shouting en masse, Allahu Akbar, no shame. They're not even hiding it. They want us to know that they're taking over the city. I mean, that is just as blatantly disrespectful and a threat as it comes. And look, I get that we have the First Amendment and freedom of religion, but we also have to be careful. We need to be mindful of ideologies that do not respect our beliefs as Americans, what we value as an American society, or what we should, right? Because if you want to impose your religion on others, if you want to rule by Sharia law, then that is by definition incompatible with freedom of religion and with what the Constitution promises all of us. So I think New York is on very shaky, dicey ground right now, and it'll be interesting to see whether this is just a flash in the pan or if Mamdani is ushering a culture that will forever change the fabric of New York City. As always, though, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So there have been multiple defections and high-profile protests against Mamdani. What do you think? Are those just outliers, or do you think this is indicative of a larger shift in New York? Do you think that this is the dam breaking and, you know, people just turning on Mamdani and his honeymoon was short-lived? I know I have a lot of viewers from New York City, so if that's you, please let me know down in the comments below. I haven't seen a lot of polling since he got elected, so I'm just curious how everyday New Yorkers are feeling about Mamdani. Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.